Welcome to the Leadership Conversation with me, Dr. Dennis V. Burke. This is our second discussion about emotional intelligence. And what I'm going to do is provide the conceptual framework of emotional intelligence as I understand it, and specifically as related to the Baron EQI 2.0. This is a traits model of emotional intelligence, and what really, in psychology, a trait approach is based on behaviors and thoughts and emotional habits. So in this case, where we say emotional intelligence, a traits model, it's really the emotional habit that is based on thoughts and behavior. In this particular model, there's a self-assessment. Participants that are evaluated for emotional intelligence complete a self-assessment, and we rank participants or folks at a universal scale or universal level. That's to say your emotional intelligence score. That would be the universal measure. However, the EQ, measure of EQ, is rated in what we would call a 1, 5, 15 factor. So you have at the upper level, the universal score, then there are 5 composite score, and beneath those 5 composite score, they're broken down into 15 subscales. Each subscale represents an actual skill that can be learned and habits that can be developed. So what does this look like? The universal EQ scale, which is the high level emotional intelligence score that one may calculate from the assessment. Then we have 5 composite scale. And you say composite, that means they're made up of something else. And those composite scale includes intrapersonal skill. So that's about self-management, understanding self. Then there's the interpersonal, which is the relatability assessment composite scale. There's stress management, adaptability, and general mood. All right, so as we work our way downward into the emotional intelligence model, you have the universal scale, you have 5 composite scale. The composite scale is intrapersonal, interpersonal, stress management, adaptability, and general mood. All right, now below each, we will have, let's take the composite scale of intrapersonal, understanding self and managing self. So that would be self-regard, that would be emotional self-awareness, the concept of assertiveness, the level of independence, and self-actualization. So that would take care of the first composite of intrapersonal, right? That would be, say, inside, working on the self. At the interpersonal level, we would consider empathy, social responsibility, and interpersonal relationship. At the stress management composite, we would have subscale of stress tolerance and impulse control. At the adaptability composite, we would have reality testing, flexibility, and problem solving. And then in the general mood, we would pick up optimism and happiness. So that covers the universal scale, the 5 composite scale, and the 15 subscales that are within the EQI 2.0, and which is a traits model of emotional intelligence. As we move forward in our abbreviated studies, I will cover and discuss each part, making this simple and accessible. Again, this is a traits model of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence can be defined in 2 distinct buckets: understanding self and managing self as bucket number 1, understanding others and managing interpersonal relationship as bucket number 2. The overall concepts of the trait emotional intelligence model is emotional habit based on thoughts and behavior. It's a self-rating model, and it has the universal scale at the top, 5 composite scale, which is intrapersonal. We measure interpersonal, stress management, adaptability, and general mood. And then beneath those composites, we have the subscales, 15 subscales: self-regard, emotional self-awareness, assertiveness, independence, self-actualization. Under interpersonal, we have empathy, social responsibility, and interpersonal relating. Under stress management, we have stress tolerance and impulse control. Under adaptability, we're dealing with reality testing, flexibility, and problem solving. And then on the general mood, we capture optimism and happiness. I look forward to covering more about emotional intelligence with you. Go forth, do good work, keep on learning. And I look forward to seeing you in another episode with me, Dr. Dennis V. Burke. I'll see you in the next episode.